Thank you for taking the time to review the Magensa Tokenization Securing Payment Data and Beyond webcast. The purpose of this webcast is to show our current Magensa Payment Protection Gateway and Magensa Decrypt and Forward Gateway customers and prospects how Magensa Tokenization is set apart from other tokenization services and discuss why tokenization is a valuable tool. For this webcast discussion, I'd like to introduce Rod Vesling, Vice President and General Manager of Magensa, a software and services subsidiary of Magtech, Maria Arminio, President and CEO of Avenue B Consulting Incorporated, and myself, Chris Brown. I'm a Magensa Product Specialist. Now, to review the goals of this webcast, to discuss the market drivers and benefits of tokens to retailers, to understand what we mean by a token and how they work, how customers are using tokens today in present use cases in payment processing, how Magensa Tokenization uses a vaultless solution and how that differs from vaulted solutions in the marketplace, and how Magensa Tokenization can be coupled with Magensa Decrypt and Forward or Magensa Payment Protection Gateway Services. Having said that, I'd like to hand over the discussion to Maria to review the marketplace.
Thank you, Chris. This is Maria Arminio. I run a payments consultancy called Avenue B Consulting, and we work in all aspects of payment processing, largely viewed from a systems and technology perspective. Payment security is our specialization. Today, I'll be addressing the market for tokenization, examining the factors that are driving interest in this technology. We'll also explore some of the key benefits and address applications of particular interest to retailers. Data breaches are becoming more prevalent and more costly. Globally, this is a $435 billion problem. Retailers, as an industry vertical market, have been the target of high-profile attacks. In fact, 62% of U.S. retailers have been breached at some point in history. One of the key challenges today, both for individuals and corporations, is keeping information private to its owner. This information specifically includes primary account numbers, or PANs, and all personally identifiable information, PII. This is the sensitive data that includes social security numbers, email addresses, phone numbers, birth dates, driver's license numbers, bank accounts, and other data of this sort. Protecting customer data has become of paramount importance. This challenge is further complicated because now data is being accessed from multiple new disparate sources in support of new infrastructures and channel options. The biggest concern is cybercrime, which leads to identity theft, where the individual's credentials and personal information are compromised, resulting then in identity fraud. According to Javelin Research, identity fraud has impacted 16.7 million U.S. consumers just this year alone. The costs are real, the reputational loss is real, and these factors have strengthened retailers' resolve to protect this data. Here's another reality. In recent years, with the implementation of EMV, fraud has shifted from the point of sale to the online environment. Card-not-present fraud is now 81% more prevalent than POS fraud. It's just getting harder and harder to protect data in the e-commerce and the mobile environments. And fraudsters are getting ever more sophisticated. So let's talk for a minute about sensitive data. Payment infrastructure processes all kinds of sensitive data, including PANs and PII, to complete a purchase transaction. All sensitive data is at risk if it's unprotected. And that begs the question, how do we protect this sensitive data? Magtech has always supported a multi-layered approach to payment security, including the combination of encryption, dynamic card authentication, and now tokenization. What is tokenization? Well, it's the process of replacing sensitive data with unique identification symbols that retain all the essential information about the data, but without compromising its security. Rather than masking data, tokenization takes sensitive data out of the equation completely. Tokenization has become the industry standard for securitizing all types of sensitive information. And while tokenization has the fewest implementations of the different security techniques available, many organizations are very interested in tokenization because they feel it is more secure. So let's look at the market drivers for tokenization. First and foremost, to minimize exposure to sensitive data, reducing the risk of fraud and data breaches, and thereby eliminating these vulnerabilities completely. Another driver is to provide secure and fast payments in the form of one-click purchases. New application areas are emerging as companies are becoming interested in securitizing very large databases containing sensitive data. Compliance with the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standards, PCI DSS, is of paramount importance to retailers. These standards describe how to secure sensitive data used in payments, and we expect that PCI will require tokenization in its future guidelines. Now, the major benefits of tokenization. Well, tokenization replaces sensitive cardholder data. This helps secure the cardholder's information at the point of sale, mobile device, and online. The customer's PAN is replaced with a dynamically generated token, which passes through the payment networks for processing without exposing the actual PAN. Tokenization can capture and store payment details while keeping card data off your servers. Magensa returns a token with the card authentication transaction, and the merchant stores that tokenization card number. Data is always safe because all that can be viewed is a randomly generated token. Every tokenized card number is unique to that retailer. Payment tokenization supports enhanced security, creates efficiency by removing friction for merchants, and significantly increases customers' convenience and their user experience. Tokens can be used in many environments to secure all sorts of data set types. Magensa's tokenization service are implemented in a wide variety of payment and non-payment environments, providing enhanced security and flexibility you need for your expanding infrastructure. In general, any sensitive data that needs to remain private is an excellent candidate for tokenization. Common applications for tokenization include data protection, tracking usage, and personalization. Now I'm going to hand things over to Chris to discuss some of these use cases in the retail environment.
Thank you, Maria. So understanding the need for token usage helps us better understand what channels tokens work well in and which verticals can benefit from tokens the most. So let's review some key use cases. Tokens can be used in the following use cases. Tokens in payment processing with online ordering, auto pay with a mobile app, transaction modification with customer approval, and customer relationship management. But we will also review where tokens can be used to protect personally identifiable information that's not related to payment data. So oftentimes, an online merchant will enable consumers to set up a profile that enables them to store payment information within the profile. Now, this allows a repeat customer to have payment details more handy, so they have an easier purchasing experience. But when the information is tokenized, the data is simply more secure and also allows for tracking of customer usage patterns. And there's a number of benefits associated with that in terms of personalization and speeding up the ordering process. Customer Relationship Management tokens, or CRM tokens for short, enable restaurants and retail organizations to customize the ordering process for fast order options based on items that the customer regularly purchases. Autopay, which is often associated with subscription-based payments, can also benefit from tokenization. In situations where consumers have repeating payments built into an auto payment app, that payment information can be saved as a token instead of the account number and details. If the amount is the same every time, a constant token can be used. And if it's a custom amount, you can change the amount. But call your card token that is securely stored on file to complete an auto-pay payment. Again, the idea here is protecting your card information so your PAN and expiration date is not in the clear. This delivers a secure and more convenient way to process payments in an auto-pay environment. Another typical way to use tokenization is in a hospitality or restaurant environment, where your card may be swiped initially. Maybe you're starting a bar tab, or you do a transaction at the end of the night and adding a tip. And when your card is initially swiped, a token can be created to store that card information on a temporary basis, and you can go back and finalize the transaction later. When the cardholder is not physically present to make changes to the transaction, tokens can still be used to fix errors with the cardholder's authorization and support ad hoc transactions. Merchants can void or refund the original transaction and use the payment token to rerun the transaction. And again, this works well for tipping and total adjustments and refunds. It's convenient for the retailer and it's convenient for the cardholder. Customer relationship management is another great use case. One of the key things that organizations like to do, especially in the restaurant industry, is to track the consumer when they come and do business. They want to know what their likes are so they can have those up front and center to show the customers. The restaurant can create a customized experience in their app based on the customer's card token ID. This can deliver a customized ordering experience for the customer and show the customer's favorites and showcase new items that can be recommended based on their purchase history. Tokens allow you to track customer behaviors and activities, personalize the user experience, create and link digital tokens to their physical card, acknowledge favorites and recently ordered items, and enable loyal customers to be acknowledged. In fact, we have a customer doing that today, and for that I'd like to hand the discussion over to Rod Bessling for more on this.
Thank you, Chris. I'd like to further talk about the use of CRM tokens, and in particular, one of our clients, which is a trendy, quick-service restaurant franchise based out of Colorado named BirdCall. BirdCall has implemented innovative self-service kiosks for taking customer orders. Through the use of our CRM tokens, BirdCall has enhanced the customer experience at the same time they've removed labor and time from the ordering process. The first time a customer comes to the restaurant, they initially swipe their card in the kiosk and are recognized as a first-time guest. A card ID token associated with that credit card is stored against the customer profile for future visits and to track activity. When the customer returns and swipes their card to get started, the card ID token is recognized and the customer is welcomed back by name. In addition, frequently purchased items are presented for faster and more efficient ordering process. Importantly, customer comments and ratings are presented on monitors for kitchen staff and managers to be aware of their previous input. VIPs also get special recognition. The implementation of CRM tokens at BirdCall has been extremely successful and is a hallmark of the service provided by the franchise. The company plans to expand the use of this capability by integrating loyalty and rewards into the process as well. So far, we've talked about tokenization primarily related to payment processes, but I'd like to raise the discussion up a level to address personally identifiable information, or PII in general. As many of you know, payment data is a component of personally identifiable information that also includes sensitive data such as Social Security numbers, driver's license numbers, passport numbers, account numbers, and health information, to name a few. Any such sensitive information just described should always be protected. Tokenization is a great tool to anonymize the data and render the information valueless. 3 things I want to mention here. First, the opportunity exists to tokenize sensitive data at the time it's being initially captured, and this absolutely should be done. Second, Magensa provides the opportunity to leverage hardware-based encryption at the point of capture to protect the data being entered, just as we do with credit cards. This is a unique capability that we'd love to talk further with you about. Third, and finally, organizations have significant amounts of sensitive data in legacy databases. It's important for companies to protect their customers and reduce their own liability by taking steps to protect this information through tools like tokenization. What I'd like to do now is provide a deeper dive into Magensa's tokenization technology, providing an overview and highlight how it can be deployed today. Most importantly, for existing Magensa clients using our gateway services, MPPG or Decrypt and Forward, tokens are being created and provided back to you already as part of your current deployment. So you have every opportunity to leverage this existing capability, and I'll show you more about that momentarily. Magensa tokenization technology is quite unique. Let me start at a fundamental level. Our tokens are not only anonymized data, they are your actual data in an encrypted format. We create a token by utilizing triple DES or AES encryption with a derived unique key per transaction. This is important because we're using a unique encryption key for every data element tokenized, making it economically unfeasible to try to hack. We also generate key metadata describing the token, with some fields being customer definable. Finally, we perform an integrity hash of the encrypted data and the metadata, allowing us to always know if the token has been tampered with in any way and alert or discard it. To sum it up, we de-identify sensitive data by creating a self-contained encrypted token that we return to the owner. At any time in the future, the token can be sent back to Magensa to decrypt for the owner to view or process the sensitive data. One of the key attributes of our self-contained encrypted token is that it's vaultless, meaning we do not store the token on your behalf. With most tokenization solutions, however, the owner of the sensitive data sends it to a token provider who stores it in a central database and returns a digital receipt. The owner sends back to the token provider the digital receipt when they need that sensitive data. So effectively, traditional tokenization solutions work like a coat check process. I give my coat to the coat check people. They give me a ticket number that I give back to them when I want my coat. This form of tokenization has at least 3 issues. Number 1, you have to trust a third party with your sensitive information. Number 2, you have to pay that third party to store your sensitive information. And number 3, the third party has the same vulnerabilities of a data breach, as these databases are usually protected by a single key. And with a breach, your sensitive information is compromised. In contrast, Magensa Tokenization Service generates a self-contained encrypted token with a unique key per token. These tokens are returned to the owner, who manages their own now secure and anonymized sensitive data as they normally would. The result is privatized and highly secure sensitive information in your control with no unnecessary storage costs. We talked specifically about Magensa's token structure. Now let me shift and talk about overall Magensa's tokenization service. Magensa is a cloud service. We have expertise in hardware security modules, key management, encryption, authentication, and overall data security. We've been providing secure payment transactions for many years and have broadened our solutions to address privatizing sensitive data in general. So let's look at how it works. On the far left in step 1, we have a business or merchant that sends Magensa sensitive information to be tokenized. That information may be in the clear, but ideally encrypted at the point of capture. When Magensa receives it, we tokenize it utilizing the format described earlier and return it back to the business in step 2. At any point in the future, as shown in step 3, the business can redeem the token by sending it to Magensa. Finally, in step 4, Magensa will decrypt the token and forward it if it's a payment token to a processor, or if it's sensitive data requested back in the clear by a business, it will be returned back to the owner. In any case, it's a sub-second transaction to either create or redeem tokens. And this is where I want to highlight again that our customers today of our gateway services are automatically receiving tokens back after sale and auth transactions. For those of you who are technical with us today, I'll show you an example in a moment. Additionally, for tokenizing sensitive data outside of typical payment transactions, we have a tokenization web service that allows you to send sensitive data to us for tokenization, and conversely, send tokens to us to redeem and have the sensitive information returned in the clear. I don't want to get too far into the technical weeds here, but I did want to show those of you who would be interested an example of a request and response that a customer would be sending and receiving during a payment transaction. You'll notice on the right side of the screen, highlighted in yellow, is a response, and you'll see in the response there is a key value pair for token and the actual token data that is returned. That token is in the token format I described earlier, with the encrypted component being the PAN and the expiration date. By the way, as many of you know, Magensa Gateway Services have L3 certifications with 5, really going on 6 different processors. The token we generate has a universal format and used to perform transactions at any of our supported processors. Thank you everyone for the opportunity to share some details on our Magensa tokenization service. At this point, I'll turn it back over to Chris to summarize and close.
Thanks, Rod. Well, I hope you enjoyed this webcast and that you were able to learn some key takeaways. We'll wrap up with several key takeaways, mainly token creation. It's standard for Magensa Gateway Service customers. Tokens securitize and protect all types of sensitive data in the payment and non-payment environments. Tokens reduce the risk of fraud and data breaches. And tokens are great for card on file, CRM applications, usage tracking, and personalization opportunities. So on behalf of all of us, Rod, Maria, and myself, we'd like to thank you for attending this webcast. We hope you reach out to us so we can guide you through how Magensa Tokenization services can benefit your organization and keep your transactions secure and enhance your customer experience. So email us at service.solutions@megtech.com or call us at 562-546-6467 for more details and to schedule a complete demonstration. Thanks so much and have a great day.